Five Latin Girls by the Pregnant Men. Welcome to another edition of the Willie Bragg Show. I am so back after a couple of minutes. I told everybody in the previous stream that I'll be right back, and I was good to my word. And it's um, sort of a way to make up for my week being the way it is. Anyway, and also I just think that some of this relevant news need to be sort of out of the way as I sort of gather up information for the upcoming week for more relevant news. That's what it comes down to. Um, Former Congresswoman Liz Cheney of Wyoming, the district at all, they have three electoral college votes. That means two senators, one at-large congressional seat. She was defeated last year in the Republican primaries. 2 years ago, 2 years ago. Sorry, 2 years ago. I had a video that was shut down because of a commentary I did on Liz Cheney, and it was totally unfair. What YouTube did to me, I'm still kind of mad at them about that. But anyway, suffice to say, with regard to Liz Cheney, she she decided to endorse Kamala Harris. And I'm going to go ahead and read up on that, and then I'll give my some commentary, and I have a nice little surprise for y'all as a result. Okay, Republican Liz Cheney endorses Kamala Harris. See, by Nicholas Riccardi. Washington Associated Press. Former Republican Liz Cheney on Wednesday said that she would support Kamala Harris for president, ending weeks of speculation about how fully the member of the GOP dynasty turned Trump critic would embrace the Democratic ticket. Cheney, who co-chaired the House investigation into January 6, 2021 attack, became a fierce Trump critic and was ousted in her 2022 Republican primary in Wyoming as a result. Made her an announcement at an event at Duke University. In a video posted on the social media network Twitter, not X, she finished by talking about the dangers she believed Trump still posed to the country. Okay, I got a lot to say about that. First, and before I continue, the threat that Trump posed to the country is correct. She and her family, she and her dad posed a threat to the world. And somehow the liberals are supposed to believe, oh, well, she's okay now. No, she's not okay. This is why I label it the enemy. Enemy is not my friend. I'll go and continue. Quote unquote, I don't believe that we have the luxury of writing in candidate names, particularly in the swing states, she said. As a conservative, someone who believes and care about the Constitution, I have thought deeply about this because of the dangers that Donald Trump poses. Not only am I not voting for Donald Trump, but I will be voting for Kamala Harris, quote unquote. Harris campaign chair Jen O'Malley Dillon said in a statement Wednesday night, the vice president is proud to have and earn the Congresswoman Cheney's vote. She is a patriot who loves this country and puts our democracy and our Constitution first. The daughter of former Vice President Dick Cheney has been perhaps Trump's highest profile Republican critic. She joined other Republicans like former January 6th committee chairman, former Republican Adam Kinzinger, and former Representative Denver Ringelman as backers of Harris. More than 200 alumni from the Bush administration and former Republican presidential campaign of the late Senator John McCain and Senator Mitt Romney also announced their endorsement of Harris this last week. As for a comment, Trump's campaign spokesman, Stephen Cheung, responded, "Who is Liz Cheney and what does she do?" Cheney was in the House Republican leadership at the time when the January 6th attack, but broke with most of her caucus over Trump's responsibility. She lost her leadership post and was one of the few Republicans willing to serve on the January 6th committee, which was appointed by Democrats who controlled the House at the time. So here's the thing. Was she correct about January 6th? Absolutely. Absolutely, she was correct about January 6th. When it comes to this, situation with the attempt, what I call a futile attempt to do a coup. A coup that, on one hand, was something that would be the fact that it was a coup in itself, but on the other hand, it was a diet coup, a joke shop coup, a stupid coup, a coup that you really can't take seriously. Although it did look scary, it was also funny to look at the time. There was a comedic value to it because I never for a second thought these redneck rebel rousers were going to go and take over the country. I certainly am not going to be taking orders from these folks, because the second they try to take over the country, the U.S. military, who is not particularly fond of Trump, would not allow this to happen, for starters. So there was no way that it would have been a successful coup. Now, she was right to call them out on it and all that, and she has a history. She's not particularly keen on Donald Trump, and neither is her father. Her father's not particularly keen on Trump either. The Bush and Cheney people seem to not like Trump at all. And I will argue that Bush and Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney are to the right of Trump on many issues. Liz Cheney is closer to Marjorie Taylor Greene on these culture war issues than she would be to Trump. And I will repeat that again. Liz Cheney is closer to Marjorie Taylor Greene on these issues than she is Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, regardless of the bullshit that comes out of his mouth, he doesn't believe in anything. And prior to him running for president on these culture war bullshit, he was either, softly liberal, moderate on it, or didn't care one way or the other. That's not a defense of Trump. It's just saying who he is. Trump is a grifter. He's stupid. He's lazy. And he pretty much will say what he can to get the crowd. If he thought he could win over a crowd by sounding like a shit lib, he would go and start to sound like a shit lib. Because, he's a grifter. You can't trust anything he says either. But here's the thing. Liz Cheney, all the liberals want to say, oh my God, she's shown that she's above partisanship and she's one of us now. I mean, it's just this whole notion. The woman is right wing on all the issues. She's hardcore anti-abortion. She's hardcore anti-LGBTQ. She's hardcore all these, culture war issues. Now, she's not an obnoxious asshole in the sense that, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, but she is still very conservative on these issues. But somehow the liberals that will go and want to cancel Joe Rogan because he doesn't think that trans women should be in sports, which he's wrong on. But, that seems to be where he's the most reactionary, but want to go and embrace Liz Cheney, who's further to the right on all these issues that Joe Rogan would be. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But I remember when Michelle Obama was hugging on George W. Bush and Joe Biden was giving him a medal, and this is prior to his presidency, and that George W. Bush went to baseball games with Ellen DeGeneres. And when I look at Ellen DeGeneres, I was like, he tried to take away your right to get married. You know, that's the thing right there. And Jimmy Dore said it best several years ago that the liberals hated Ralph Nader because they felt like Ralph Nader was responsible for George W. Bush getting elected. Now that these same fucking liberals, and I'm paraphrasing him, love George W. Bush, they still hate Ralph Nader. These motherfuckers love those supposed moderate Republicans, have more respect and bond with supposed moderate Republicans better than they do Ralph Nader or Bernie Sanders. They think less of Ralph Nader and they think less of Bernie Sanders than they do a Liz Cheney or George W. Bush or someone like that. I want you to think about that. And just let it sink in for a minute. Just because they don't spit out mean tweets and they're kind of they tone police all their rhetoric and they have good manners does not mean that they're our friends, even if they don't like Trump. They love the wars. They love the neocon wars. They love the torturing of inmates in Guantanamo Bay. They love tax cuts. They love deregulations of Wall Street. They love union busting. They oppose universal health care. Therefore, massive incarceration. Therefore, all these things that all of us progressives are against. And the Democrats ask us progressives to go and support the Democrats. When the Democrats sits there and they coddle the soft right more than they do their left-wing base. I won't go along with it. I just won't. I'm not being a terminal contrarian. I just know what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And supporting Liz Cheney and declaring her an ally is wrong. She could do whatever the hell she wants to do. She's a grown woman, you know? I mean, I'm not going to go and praise her just because she's like Trump mean, Trump bad. You got to go do more than say Trump is bad for me to forgive Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney will have to make it clear that she is against these wars and by fighting the military-industrial complex and fighting the deep state. And I don't mean with just words, but with actions. She's got to do a whole lot more. She's got to change her positions on things. She's got to favor things like Medicare for all or something like that, or she's got to be a hell of a lot tolerant on her sister's situation, because her sister and her Dick Cheney's other daughter, I believe her name's Mary, is a lesbian. Now, to his credit, Dick Cheney is okay with Liz Cheney, Mary Cheney being a lesbian. But apparently Liz Cheney isn't. And so when the Democrats do political correctness, even they are selective about their PC. Have a lefty or one of their own say something that's a little off-putting, that's not a party line, ready to cancel them. But Liz Cheney, she's cool. What the fuck? Anyway, I'm going to play this video. I played it before. I'll play it again. It's from Turncoat Don. And here we go. It's about Liz Cheney. It so applies to today.
Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman. In your satin tights, fighting for your rights, and the old red, white, and blue.
If the Democrats prevail, we will not have an economic recovery. You and I know the damage Barack Obama has done to our beloved state and nations. In Congress, I'll lead the fight to reverse President Obama's devastating policies. Bernie Sanders, AOC, Joe Biden, they are advocating the quicksand of socialism. They will absolutely sink and devastate this nation. Representative Omar embodies a vile, hate-filled, anti-Semitic, anti-Israel bigotry.
I am strongly pro-life and I am not pro-gay marriage, said Cheney Friday.
I do believe in the traditional definition of marriage.
And I think that, the North Koreans and others around the world have seen that President Trump is somebody who's going to do what he says he's going to do, and he's going to keep his word.
I will do everything I can to ensure that the former president never again gets anywhere near the Oval Office.
Wonder Woman. You're Wonder Woman.
Waterboarding is not torture.
But listening to Liz Cheney run her mouth is torture. So there you have it. I mean, that's basically what I have to say is, a big old what the hell and what the fuck. And with liberals today, like Tommy from Tommy Nation Politics said to Warren on Extra Bullet Live, I believe about a year ago, about the shit libs. If the shit libs would just become just regular liberals instead of being the shit libs that they are, that would be an improvement on things. But that's not the case. What seems to be the case is, for shit libs to just sit there and acquiesce to people on the right that decided to go and team up with them because Orange Man bad. It's amazing how people's brain has gotten really messed up because of Trump derangement syndrome. And acknowledging that does not mean you're a fan of Donald Trump. I want to emphasize this, because I want to emphasize this about Trump. Trump is a billionaire. I am an anti-capitalist, and all billionaires are evil as far as I'm concerned. I don't think there should be such a thing as a billionaire. We're taking away the billions from people who own billions. So there's no way in hell, that I'm a Trump fan or anybody who's a billionaire for that matter. But let's not let criticism of Trump that's not legitimate overtake us. There are reasons to go after Trump. I can give you several reasons from his presidency, not even connected with January 6th. the murder of Qasem Soleimani was a war crime. Selling arms to Saudi Arabia, overseeing a genocide, the toppling of the government of Venezuela, to attempt to, then the temporary toppling of the government of Bolivia. You know, the bombings in Syria. So I mean, I could go on about some of this stuff here, and you know, the Abraham Accords kind of led way to the situation we have with October 7th and what we see today. Moving the damn embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem was a wrong idea. I got criticisms about Donald Trump, and don't even get me started on tax breaks for the wealthy and all that shit, and some of the people that was appointed in his administration. So, you know, it's not the fact that, you know, I don't want Trump back in the White House, and I don't want to see the Biden-Harris presidency continue either. You can actually have both positions. You can actually occupy and embrace both positions. I don't care what people say. Oh, no, you can't. Yes, you can. And so, you know, I'm willing to go with Trump is bad. But I'm willing to also go with, you know, be careful who you team up with. Because the enemy of your enemy is not necessarily going to be your friend, and you're ridiculous if you do think that way. And that's my main point. So, I'm about ready to log off in a minute because I gotta get some sleep. But I'll make an announcement tomorrow night at 8:00. Shane Kaufman will be back on the show, and we'll be discussing MMT. He had tech issues on his computer tonight, and you know, we'll get back to my normal streaming schedule Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, which I'm working on, and Braglands on Tuesday. So there you have it. And I guess I'll sign off right now and say that if you like what you heard, please press like and comment. Comment any way if you disagree with what I have to say. Feel free to share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it as a we're in fact among records of our time. Also, remember to reject corporate media, to subscribe to Willie Bragg Show here on all my appropriate platforms. And remember, free and pardon Snowden, fully pardon Julian Assange, free Palestine, free healthcare for all, and free speech absolutism, let it rain. And I am out of here. I will talk to you all soon. I'm sleepy as hell. I need to get my beauty sleep. Hey, it's not easy looking like this. Have a good night.